The following program is sponsored by Tropical Acres Steakhouse.
Hold the Mayo. It's time for Mike Mayo's Lunchbox. Find out what's being served with Mike, Defo, and Lubie, the only show that covers food, sports, and the proper maintenance of your car. And now, a man who had the distinction of having an entire health clinic named in his honor, Mike Mayo.
I want the frim fram sauce with the awesome fave with shafafa on the
Hey, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Mike Mayo's Lunchbox. A little bit of a drizzly, rainy Wednesday, but that's not going to stop us or dampen our spirits because we're at it's a Let's Eat South Florida favorite. It's a Lunchbox favorite. It's a Mayo family favorite. It's Tropical Acres Steakhouse, 76 years young. We've got Jeff Defo DeForest in the house. Mike Lubie's on the mixing board. And again, it is a great honor to be seated next to this gentleman, all class, Jack Studiale, the proprietor. I guess you're the second generation owner, or but it's family tradition, family run for 76 years.
Yeah.
1949. That is a big number, my friend.
No, it sure is.
How are you today?
I'm fine. A little tired. I got in early today to do an off-premise catering event.
Yeah, well, you're so modest because this is a guy. One of the reasons I love it here, because besides being such quality and consistency, is just you do all these kind of philanthropic, community-minded events, and every year you do stuff for a local high school that has a band camp, and you provide a catered lunch. So you were out here this morning.
Well, got to watch food cost.
Yeah.
So, but I also, if I do the labor myself,
there's
no labor cost. Although I was behind the gun a little bit this morning, and I had to get Glenn and Rosie to help me.
Well, you rounded up the troops.
Yeah, they were there. Good. Yeah, they were there. Anyway.
Defo, how are you? Isn't it nice to be back in here?
Oh, it's great, man. I love it here. I can still hear when I first moved to Florida, I started watching a show called Let's See the Races with the track announcer caller, Bob Savage. And he used to break in about the fourth race and say, Sam Studiale and Tropical Acres, what a place. And that was my introduction to it. So I was curious to check it out. Was introduced to it by my man, John Jarris, longtime customer here. And it always reminded me the lobster special, which I'm a huge fan of, and naturally it's back and everybody's loving it because I just saw an ad on Let's Eat South Florida, or a promo for somebody that somebody posted for a $29.99 one lobster special. And I'm thinking, how the hell does Jack do it, man? $39.99 for two.
No, not 99, just $39.
$39 for two. So you don't even have to bring the change. And by commensurate to the times, it reminds me of when Alan Hale, the guy that was on Gilligan's Island, he was the captain on Gilligan's Island. Alan Hale, an actor, and he had a restaurant, Alan Hale's Lobster Barrel on La Cienega Boulevard. And my girlfriend at the time and I used to go there all the time for the $7.95 lobster special, and they gave you one lobster. So, I mean, if you go by the equation and the math, you're undercutting Alan Hale.
Yeah.
You're undercutting Gilligan's Island.
Where was his restaurant?
It was called Alan Hale's Lobster Barrel. It was on La Cienega Boulevard,
That's
somewhere
in
Hollywood.
LA.
Yeah. And very good spot, very popular. And getting the extra lobster certainly makes a big difference.
That's part of what makes Tropical Acres so special, is they're outpacing inflation in terms of cutting it, like cutting costs and making sure you get great value. And we appreciate that. Before we get into the food and all, we're going to be getting some twin. I'll give a demonstration about how to eat a lobster with the shell and everything, just crunch down right on the tail. No, that's not the way to do it. I know. We've got some crackers.
Mayo, you probably love the green stuff, which I don't really care
the
for.
Cream spinach?
The green stuff. No,
the tamale, they call it.
Tamale.
Yeah.
You can have my tamale.
My mother loved that tamale stuff. I kind of brush it aside, but sometimes it's tasty. And there's no wrong way to eat lobster as long as you can clean it out, get the knuckles. How's it going this year? That's popular as ever, right?
Phenomenal. It's doing great. It's it's filling seats on nights that we need it. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
And
that's the intent. The staff, they're here for a purpose.
Yeah, which is to serve and make some money. And
there's a certain obligation on our part to keep them busy. I don't want them looking somewhere else. I want them to stay here. I want them to be comfortable. I want them to make a good living.
Yeah.
We give them so many covers per night. They're gonna do
Well,
what they need to do.
I love it because I came in here with my goddaughter niece visiting from Ohio. She's 23. She just graduated at Ohio State. And she got into town. This was the day after Memorial Day. And I figure after a long holiday weekend, it's going to be maybe, very light in here. We came in and with Shayna. They love it here. They requested it, and all those people on the Let's Eat group saying, "Oh, it's only for older people." No, that's I got these hip youngsters. They're on Instagram. They're like they love it here.
There's
and
a lot of naysayers, but look, what's the population of South Florida? Predominantly
6 million in the 3 counties.
Yeah, and it's the dynamics or the geographic. It's a lot of elderly people. We're
Yeah.
a retirement place,
But there's a lot of young people,
and there's an enormous number, and
they're coming in now.
there's quite a combination in the dining room. You could look around. There's a lot of deuces, singles, dates, families. So
it's a great mix. And we came in that Tuesday, and I was blown away because the day after a 3-day holiday weekend, a lot of places are just like, empty. You hear crickets. This place was hopping. I don't know how many covers you had that night, but it's just an impressive thing. Half price wine night, the Twin Lobster. I mean, I got out of here. It was crazy because you have a great surf and turf with wine, and it's like $50 a person. It's unheard of. You can't even get out of a Chinese
I'm
restaurant.
glad you appreciate that.
Yeah, I
And,
really do.
All of South Florida appreciates it.
Yeah. Hey, but so before we get into more of the food talk, and we are going to be graced, your son Joe is cooking and grilling up some stuff. He's going to bring out things. Defo, I had a question for you because we are in the height of some great sporting events. The French Open is going on.
Yep.
We had a great morning of action. Coco Gauff ends up beating Madison Keys, right? And then the French upstart
Boisson.
Poisson. That sounds like a croissant to something.
Rhymes with poisson, but actually means drink.
Okay, yeah. I'll boisson to boisson. I'll drink to this upset. I mean, got the crowd going.
Well, she's a French girl that came out of nowhere, literally qualified to get into the tournament. Was injured before the tournament last year. Was going to make her first appearance, and naturally in front of the hometown crowd, she has become a big favorite, and she's mowed down some heavy hitters. So, yeah, they have a great story emerging. The clay, the red clay in tennis is kind of like quicksand in some senses for some of the better players. It's a little bit of an equalizer. So you have certain players that really excel on it, and some of the greats have had success, but not the same level that they do on other surfaces. So it really kind of evens things out.
It's like horses. Some of them are turf runners, and some of them like the dirt, and the same thing. And obviously the best clay players of all time. What's
Rafa Nadal.
Nadal, he won every
He's
year.
the best
won
by a
every-
lot.
he
It's
won.
not even comparable.
But I had a question for you related to tennis, and it has nothing to do with the French Open. It has to do with scoring. Because as I'm watching today, it's like I played tennis growing up.
Yeah.
My parents were big tennis junkies. You're a tennis junkie. I've watched a lot. I've been to the U.S. Open. And then it struck me today, who and why did they come up with 15 love,
and then love.
30, 40 deuce? Why? And then they go to the tiebreaker, and it's 1, 2, 3. Why don't they just do games with 1, 2,
Makes
3,
no
4?
sense. Yeah.
You don't know the origins of
It makes it more difficult to forget the score. Or easier to forget the score, I guess, because everybody's like, what is it, 30-30? But if it was 2-2, you would know. It was
2-2, and you got to win by 2. You get to 4, but you got to win by 2.
I don't know where the tradition originated. It's really dumb because the first 2 points are worth 15.
Right.
And then the third
And
one's
then
only
it's the
worth
fourth
10. And then it goes back to like, meaningless.
It's
Like back and forth.
All of a sudden they throw in a word that translates to
right?
2.
Yeah. No, it's stupid. You would have to say. I don't know if it adds any interest to watching the game. It certainly doesn't change anything about playing the game, but it's been there forever, and no one's ever. People have questioned it, but no one ever. It's kind of like current things that are going on in the world where nobody does anything about it.
It's like in hockey, and again tonight we got the start of the Stanley Cup Finals rematch between our Florida Panthers, Edmonton Oilers, and like in hockey, nobody can explain what offsides is except when they whistle off a goal like 3 minutes after somebody went offside, and that's a little bit annoying. Jack, are you into the whole sporting scene? And this week we got
tennis. I enjoy basketball. Unfortunately, and with hockey right now, I'm sad to say I'm a fan now. During the whole
that's
playoff.
okay. No, it's okay to jump on the bandwagon. Yeah.
But I've tried to watch it, and it's a fast game. There's a lot of rules I'm not familiar with, but it's fascinating, and of course the Panthers are being dominant right now.
It's
So
fun
we'll
to
see.
watch.
They're in Canada tonight.
Yeah.
And hopefully they'll come home or they got 2 games in Canada.
Yeah,
Have you ever served elk?
Yeah.
You
have.
Mike's been researching the indigenous food, I guess, to
The restaurant scene in Edmonton, and one of the new hot restaurants in Edmonton. I looked at their menu, courtesy of Jim Sarney, that he sent it to me, and the menu has raw elk, so it's like
raw
elk tartare.
Oh, no.
elk tartare.
Yeah.
Do they have a little egg
tartare.
on it? And they put
I don't know how they do it, and then they also have. They're fascinated, I guess, with
Raw
spam is like one of their indigenous culture like favorite foods. They have spam pops and the deviled eggs with spam, and then they also had bison cheeks, which is I've heard of bison steaks, but not necessarily bison cheeks. But
was there ever a hot demand here for bison to be added to the menu?
Grouper cheeks.
There was a
small
time it
piece
sort
right
of
on the
became popular,
skull.
right?
Yeah.
Elk.
Bison.
Bison.
Wasn't it popular for a little bit in certain
there
American
was
restaurants?
an interest in it,
Yeah.
and we'd run it, but we, people are always comparing it to a steak, and it's different. It's leaner.
Yeah. I like buffalo steaks. I like the bison,
but
and
it's different. Now we feature right now. We're doing a Wagyu, and some people are again they're comparing it to the certified Angus beef steaks that we're serving. It's going to be different. It's a high grade Wagyu, so it's we recommend it not to be cooked less than medium rare because you've got a lot of fat content.
Yeah, you need to kind of have it render down a little bit, otherwise it gets too
but it's
chewy.
good.
Yeah,
but people might send it back, and because this isn't what I expected.
If they're not what they're familiar with it, it's always hard. Yeah,
Chef's probably not happy when they send back that Wagyu. Right?
Oh my God.
For more fire or whatever.
Maybe they are happy because they get to eat it later on. Meanwhile, we got some food in front of us. Joe just
this smells great. The aroma.
This is one
awesome.
of my sleeper dishes here, and
is that our?
well, this is our surf and turf marsala.
Oh, beautiful!
It's a combination, and I have my little tricks of the trade here, where we have on Let's See people come in and they, all right, here's what I love. I mean, that you can't always necessarily please everybody, and you've said it before that this place, if you have enough support to the last 76 years, it means you're doing something right. But occasionally people come in, they've never been here, and maybe they don't know what the specialties of the house is. I'm telling you, this dish here, this is the linguine surf and turf marsala. You've got little bits, slices of tenderloin, along with some shrimp, and in a nice marsala sauce. And it is one of those dishes where if I feel like I want a little bit of a pasta, but still get some meat and seafood, it's one of the things that I order here. And because look, Studiale family, Italian roots, so you got things and a couple of pasta dishes. You got that butternut squabs, and she orders it as an appetizer with my brother, and then they move on to the prime rib. And we've got the little twin lobsters right there, staring us in the face. $39 Monday through Friday while supplies last.
If I may, this marsala was just we had an excess of tenderloins from the filet mignon.
Right.
We need
to trim them.
Yes. We take the whole butcher process from start to finish. You need to use all the byproducts. You can't have things left over and not put it to use. So we had an excess, and the chef that was Peter at the time, I said, "Hey, what can you do with this?" And he started coming. He said, "Well, marsala, the mushrooms, to appeal to the people that like seafood. We'll put some shrimp in it." So he made a couple combinations, and I'm telling you. And then he blew my when he put it over linguine. I was like, "Wow, are you really serious?"
Yeah.
Well, we put it out as a special, and got lots of reviews. So it's filet mignon, sautéed with U15 shrimp.
Yep, I got shrimp right here.
Fresh tomatoes.
You got
sautéed mushrooms in a marsala wine sauce, and it's just flavorful. And over the linguine
right here.
When I like that, it's hearty. It's because a lot of time when you get a pasta dish, the proteins are just sort of an accoutrement. If we're using French, like it's more than the main part of it. Here, like you just said, it's the proteins thrown over linguine.
Is the primary item. The linguine is kind of secondary.
Yep.
Yeah. And it took off, and we thought we'd just run it as a special to get rid of some excess filet mignon and 10 tips.
And it's become a hit.
And
Oh,
it
it's
has.
fantastic.
Well, we couldn't not take it off. It's been on the menu now
And look at it. These
for
little
Fantastic.
about
No.
30 years.
Really great.
slices of filet are very
Yeah.
tender, and you know, they it is a beautiful dish, which again is on my heavy rotation here at Tropical Acres. Again, we never mentioned the address, 2500 Griffin Road, but everybody knows where it is. Some people say Fort Lauderdale, and it used to be the old Fort Lauderdale unincorporated, and still the post office address is Fort Lauderdale. But technically, Dania Beach, that's where the property tax checks go to. But whatever you call it, it is a iconic establishment. We were in here with Andy Cagnetta and Transworld a few months ago and gave you the plaque, which I see is hanging, and thank you for that. And we've got Joe bringing out more things. I got a hash brown
okay.
cake
Famous
here,
hash
and we've
browns,
got the barrel cut filet on a sizzling platter with cream spinach. And these things you see in front of me are all the things that I order when I come here, and I always leave satisfied. So there are certain things which are
Wow.
I don't want to say guaranteed to please people. Everybody is easily pleased, but you know, one thing, you know, and there was a post over the weekend. Actually, there were two posts. One was
That might
yeah,
be rubber bands.
that might be rubber bands. Uh-oh.
That filet.
Okay.
Certified Angus beef, center cut.
Mm.
The
Wow,
gentleman,
look at that.
the gentleman on the review said
There were rubber bands.
it tasted like I was chewing on rubber bands.
Oh, God.
Wow. That would be Tad's Steakhouse
Look
in New
at
York.
this.
Yeah,
Look
yeah.
Look
at
at this.
That ain't rubber
Perfect.
bands.
Look at this.
Wow.
Perfect
He even-
medium rare.
He even put a picture,
Yeah.
and all it did was look like chewed up food.
Yeah, the guy took it. You know, some people just have it in for the place. And it didn't sound like anything that I've experienced here, because whenever I have had a, let's say, you know, look, like you freely admit you're human. You guys don't all, you not everything comes out perfect. But what you want to do is, if something is not to your liking, flag a server or a manager that roams the floor. Jackson is not here today, but he's always roaming the floor, and say,
Yep.
excuse me, this, you know, I ordered it medium rare. It came out medium well. They'll whisk it away and refire for you.
You know how fast we can get another steak? The server might not get it as quickly.
Mm.
That's why they're instructed. And there's a whole process that the servers go through.
Mm.
And we quiz. Joe has a test that they have to pass. And they're quizzed. What do?
I'm
You
gonna
go to a manager. You don't go to a cook. You go to a manager,
Mhm.
because a manager can take another filet that's cooked to the temp that's desired, take it from the grill. It's for somebody else, but we can just, you know, we can switch things around. That order's not going up for another 7 minutes, so I can take that filet, and we can get into that customer's immediately, which we don't want there to be a delay.
Right.
That'll, you know, they're sitting there, they're thinking, they're getting more, they're agitated. And most of the time when people have these problems, they come in with a
Chip on their shoulder, or,
Yeah,
or in a bad
or-
mood, or hangry, or
Yeah.
had a fight with their girlfriend or something.
Exactly.
Yeah.
exactly.
Uh,
No, you know, and you could see it. I mean,
and one of the things I don't understand, people say, oh, you know, I ordered the prime rib, or I had the filet, and it had no flavor. It was tasteless. Well, this one, it's totally well seasoned. I want to have you guys kind of be able to sample
Give it a
it,
deep. I know Deep loves it.
because
let me give
this
some
one,
info.
it tastes like it's properly seasoned. I taste flavors of salt. I also see little garlic on it.
Oh, you can see the garlic.
And I imagine that
Looks
you
fantastic.
could always ask your server, like, first of all, if you don't like the sizzling platter because you think it might keep cooking your
Overcook it,
steak,
which is fine. 'cause
request it on a regular plate. They will do that. It comes with the sizzling platter, which I love,
It
because
keeps it
then when
warm.
you, like, I usually order it a
Okay.
little bit on the rare side, and then I kind of like cut it and finish it off and
Yep.
kind of get a little sizzle on it like that. And then you have a delicious piece of premium, you know, like well seasoned, and just ask your server, hey, can you put a little sauteed garlic on it? Or can you do, you know, they'll make adjustments. They are in the hospitality, people pleasing business, right, Jack?
Exactly. The air is human. Not that we do it often. Not that we do it often, but it's occasionally a mishap can happen.
Yeah, it's
And I'm not making excuses.
no, you're doing
Well,
some
well,
nights
what
you're
I-
doing 800 covers or whatever on
Yeah.
the big holidays,
And
or
we might-
1,000. or
Yeah, and we
1,200.
might go a night without anything. I mean, like a lamb is delicious. Wow. Have you had that? The rack of lamb.
That's his big thing.
That's one of
I
my
haven't had
recommended
that, but I've heard
dishes.
The
it's
rack of
I-
lamb is
insane.
amazing.
Yeah, I heard
It's
insane.
it's tender, it's delicious, and it amazes me when sometimes people get it. It's tough. Well,
Well, if you order something medium well, newsflash,
Yeah.
meat beyond medium tends to
It
be a
starts-
little bit drier,
It starts to tighten
chewier,
up. Yeah.
tightens up. I call it murdering the meat, but
Yes.
everybody is free to do what they want, order it the way they want. But just understand, if you order something medium well or well done, it's not going to be as juicy as a medium rare steak, which is the way God intended steak to be eaten. But again, it's a subjective thing, and you'll do anything anybody wants. And what I also like on your menu,
Oh, excellent. Yeah,
Jack,
I'm in on that.
is that you clearly put on the label what all the different doneness
I don't-
means,
yeah,
what
maybe
the
it's-
steak is going to look like, and you even describe the Pittsburgh black.
Oh,
and
really?
blue.
You actually?
Oh yeah. You'll
Well,
get
I
a
just
menu.
order medium rare. I don't do math because to me, to get a steak, if you get medium, I get it. My mom will get it more medium. But anything other than that, like my grandma would, you hear the word "well" in there. It's like, okay, you're
That's old. Yeah.
good
Well,
luck.
Well,
years past, a lot of people did order.
well, when it was used to be maybe an inferior quality.
You didn't know the
of
quality
beef,
of meat. Yeah.
and maybe some places keep it around a little too long. That's when some people would learn that, oh, we better order it medium well, but not here.
People go, has it changed over the years? So I always order my steaks rare. All right, now you order a steak rare, and the person makes a face, and you're thinking that's how I order it. And then between rare and medium rare is
I call it rare plus.
Rare plus.
And I could say that
But
here, and they know what
is
it
it the
means.
same? I mean, do you find this, Jack? I mean, obviously you have your own definition of what constitutes rare, medium rare, rare plus. Is there a standard in the restaurant business? Because you can go different places and they interpret it a different way.
You can get particular, and you can deliver the steak with a thermometer,
Yeah,
and 125 is rare.
Right.
but
130
customers may not understand.
No, and we don't want to put a digital.
Right.
I did it once.
Oh, really? For
Yeah,
somebody who was very particular?
very particular, and we know this person, and we know there's always a problem.
Oh,
So
well, there's always a problem.
Always
yeah.
a problem.
Yeah.
So I think what they do, because of the history,
Hash
they
browns
think
are
they're
good.
going to get attention, and they do. They get better attention. I said, "Let me serve the steak," and I served it with a digital thermometer. I inserted it in it, and she says, "What are you doing?" I want to make sure you see that it is exactly
The temp-
medium.
right?
Yep.
Right. And then she complained
then
about the
they
hole in
still
her
complain?
steak.
135. It
Overcooked.
popped right up. Oh, that's perfect.
Oh, really?
Oh, really?
I thought you were going to say.
Shocker.
I thought
Now
you-
let's cut it. I
Right.
said, now let's cut it in half.
Oh,
You would-
Jesus.
And she got the attention she wanted.
Right.
Yeah, she just wants attention.
Well, and she
A
got,
lot of it is
have-
that.
she got. Yeah, you know what? People want to feel acknowledged, and when they go out to eat, in particular. But I'm surprised that she didn't go on the Let's Eat group and complained about the hole from the meat thermometer that was in her steak. but,
That's the first and only time I've ever done that. But we have history.
Yeah.
It was that table.
Mhm.
I know the lady. She's a frequent diner.
right.
And
She's always going to cry.
Hey, let's take our first break, and we'll continue chowing down on some of this great food. Again, since 1949, you do the math. I mean, it's older than Defo. Defo's got a
Oh.
birthday coming up.
Not
and,
by enough, though. I mean, that's
and I've been coming in here. This makes me feel old. I've been coming here. I moved to South Florida 36 years ago this month, and I think I've been coming here for about 35 of them.
Wow.
And
wow.
that means I've been here a little less than half the history of this place.
That's
And
that's
any place
awesome.
we were at
Blue collar.
Blue Collar earlier this week, great local chef Danny Surfer. And when we mentioned Blue Collar, because we were going over a list of some of the places that I like to tag polarizing places that has people that feel strongly about it. And Danny's like, look, any place that survives in South Florida for 76 years, almost 80 years is doing something right. And obviously the people who are looking to take pot shots, look, let them find another place. If they want to find the bright shiny new toy and pay 3 times the price,
Yeah.
they can do that. Oh, the other gratifying thing, yesterday we were up at Burton's, is a kind of new
Oh,
growing
sure.
chain that's
Plantation,
yeah,
yeah.
you like him.
I
Yeah,
love it.
they're
Isn't it
good.
great?
They
I
do a
love
really
it.
nice
Yeah, they do a
job.
good job. They have one in Boca as well.
And
So
the staff is well
yeah,
informed.
very, very good. And
Remind
very
me of your
mindful.
staff. They're very on it.
They're similar to Houston's. They're,
Yeah.
they're
He hates you.
That's a trigger
You
word
know
for me.
he hates you.
So here's the thing, Jack. I used to love Houston's, but they have so many rules, and because you ask for something and they'll say no.
No high chair.
And right, no high chair, no
groups.
groups larger than
No.
4, no Bloody Marys during lunch service, and Burton's I call the house of yes. So it's like all the good parts of Houston's with none of the. They're still in the hospitality business. We were talking with their CEO yesterday. He's a good guy, and John Hagi. But as we were leaving Burton's, there was a couple of people there were eating some lunch at the bar. He recognized me from the group and doing the podcast, and he goes, "Mike, I've been down here for like 10 years. I've got to get to Tropical Acres. I got to try it out." This is a guy who lives up in Del Rey.
Yeah.
I was like, "Go check it out for yourself." And I told him, get the Twin Lobster, get the Surf and Turf
You can get
Marsala,
anything, but
get the, well, these are my favorites
make
because I
sure.
know they're always well executed. And if it's good enough for me, it's going to be hopefully good enough for everybody else out there. And the point being, this place, it gets people's attention and curiosity, and people who've lived down here a long time, they want to check it out, which is exactly the whole point.
It's and we're proud of that. And it doesn't happen overnight. I mean, we work really hard. The staff works hard, and we're always striving for excellence, as impossible as that might be. But we never get complacent. We're continually training them. This past Saturday, we talked about body language.
Oh,
Imagine
really?
that.
Well, smiling and just being
Oh, wow. So you
accommodating,
continuously train.
Yeah, I mean, this is
Interesting.
every Saturday. The staff sits, and every day they eat dinner.
Yeah, meal, yeah.
So after the meeting, but we continued the discussion during dinner. But as insignificant as you think that might be, the way you present yourself, the tone, your voice, your inference, you can
just smiling.
be condescending. And there were a couple people, now I didn't call them out at the meeting, but afterwards I spoke to them individually, and I said, the example I pointed out, that was you.
You said
Well, that was
after
the
I know,
meeting.
pull them
but still.
aside. Right.
I used to do that with Lubie all the time.
I was going to say, Devo still does that with me.
You call them out in public?
No.
You
No,
don't come
to
to Las
me,
Vegas and
that'd be
talk to a
bitter.
man like Mo Green like that. That's what I always think.
The thing is, I think with the younger generation is because they spend so much time on their phones and computers and gadgets, they've lost the art of socialization. And like you said, the body language, smiling, having the right tone, not just being flat or a robot.
Yeah.
And these are the things that make you stand out. That's why I call it old school, and it's nothing but a
Yeah.
good thing. All right, we got to take our first break.
Okay.
We'll be back with more with Jack Studiale here at Tropical Acres after these words. When people ask me about the best restaurants in South Florida, Casa d'Angelo is always at the top of my list. First-class dining, top-flight service, elegant atmosphere, and chef-founder Angelo Ilia is legendary. The flagship in Fort Lauderdale has been serving the finest Italian cuisine since 1997, with other locations in Boca Raton and Aventura. As Angelo himself says, they have an unwavering commitment to unparalleled quality with meticulous attention to details. It's so good, with house-made pastas, pristine seafood, unique meats like elk chops and bison, and seasonal specialties including fragrant fresh truffles from Italy. All locations open 7 days for dinner. Reservations recommended. For a special occasion or any occasion, Casa d'Angelo. Tell them Mike Mayo sent you. Hey, it's Mayo for Gilbert's 17th Street Grill. You know me, I love family-run places with quality food at fair prices served with passion and pride. And that's why I love Gilbert's. For more than a decade, Lenore, Beth, and Richie Gilbert have been serving up the best burgers, wings, ribs, salads, and desserts. It's a fast casual spot. Everything prepared fresh to order from an immaculate open kitchen. They're at 1821 Cordova Road in Fort Lauderdale in the Cordova Shops just south of 17th Street. Open every day but Sunday. One of my favorite burgers in South Florida. Big, round, juicy pucks of 100% Angus beef, char grilled to perfection. And don't miss the sweet potato fries on the side. They're legendary. Go to Gilbert's, feast, and be happy. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you. Delicious Mexican food with innovative twists. Margaritas with a medley of tongue-tingling flavors. I'm talking about Taco Craft, Taqueria, and Tequila Bar. The place to go on Taco Tuesday and every day. It's located at 510 North Federal and Highway in Fort Lauderdale, and also in Lauderdale by the Sea at Plantation Walk and Coral Springs. Taco Craft has specials every day, including bottomless drinks for a Sunday brunch and Taco Tuesdays, including their new burrito tacos with bone marrow broth. Oh, it's so good. They've even made a taco lover out of me, and they've got so much more, including fajitas, that open-faced smashed cheeseburger tortilla that's new, and a guacamole sample that's an explosion of flavors. The kitchen is open late. There's delivery and takeout. For more information, go to tacocraft.com.
Hey, Lunchbox fans, is it time to sell your business? You've poured your heart and soul into your restaurant or business, and you want to see continue the legacy you have built. Transworld can help. Call me, Andy Cagnetta, at Transworld Business Advisors right now and see if it's time for you to retire and relax. Iconic brands like the Mai Kai, Mulligan's, Carlos and Pepe's, Mangoes, and many more turn to Transworld to help sell. Contact Transworld on Facebook or call 954-772-1122 or visit tworld.com. Again, that's 954-772-1122 or tworld.com.
When I'm looking for some wicked good food for a wicked good lunch, there's only one place to go. That's Wicked Cheesesteaks in Fort Lauderdale. It's at 4824 North Federal Highway, just south of Commercial Boulevard and across from Holy Cross Hospital. My friend Brian there, he will hook you up with some really tasty treats. They've got cheesesteaks, just like the best you can find in Philly, along with lobster rolls, because that's where he's from, Maine originally. And they have wings and pizza and everything you want to have a really good time. Wicked Cheesesteaks. They're open every day but Tuesday. Check them out online, wickedcheesesteaks.com. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you. Guess who's back and better than ever? Juan's. For the best in classic old school Chinese cuisine, a family-run South Florida favorite since 1966. It's at 664 North Federal Highway in Fort Lauderdale, open every day but Tuesday for lunch and dinner. Chef Alex is carrying on the family tradition that started 4 generations ago. It used to be known as Christina Juan's Mandarin House, and you're going to love it as Juan's. They've got all your favorites: wonton soup, spare ribs, egg rolls, dumplings, Peking duck, and more. Combo lunch specials daily and takeout and delivery. For more information, go to their Instagram page at wans.fl. If you're looking for a great place for steaks, seafood, and more, go to Tropical Acres Steakhouse and Butcher Shop. It's at 2500 Griffin Road in Dania, just west of I-95 and the airport. They've been there a long time, since 1949. That means they're doing something right. You'll get old school hospitality from the Studiale family, along with great value for tremendous service. Of course, you could also go into the bar for happy hour every day, 4 to 6, and they have great value all night long. Also, a butcher shop that's open every day from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. except Sunday. The dining room is open every day at 4:30 except Sunday. Go to All right, we're back at Tropical Acres enjoying lunch. They're not open for lunch. They do some banquets and other specialty group luncheons and things, but typically open up 4 o'clock or 4:30, Jack?
4:30.
4:30. I know 4:30 I start making my way into the bar, because the happy hour 4:30 to 6:30, you can't beat those deals. The half price drinks, including the premium drinks. I get my Belvedere martini. I get some of the light bites, those sliders, sirloin sliders. Excellent. 4:30, 6:30, Monday to Friday, including the Fridays. So it really is a happy weekend when you come in here at 4:30 on a Friday.
And it fills up. People are coming in at 4:15, 4:10 to get a seat.
They are bellying up to the bar. And again, the happy hour pricing is good in the bar area. They also have some tables in there, and you can actually order some food, either happy hour menu or off the menu.
There's a food runner to assist Tony and Nick.
Yeah, and they do a great job there. We got to remind people, Monday, Tuesday, half price wine night. Unfortunately, today is Wednesday, but every week there's a Monday and a Tuesday, and some great values there. You've got the Loyalty Reward Club card, where for every 12 entrees, you get punched. You get the 13th one. You get up to a $35 value on your next visit on the 13th entree. Another little touch that makes things great. And you know, it just keeps going on. You give people great value. You give them a reason to come in. Yeah. And
the loyalty card has been a real success. It's such an easy promotion, and the customers, they won't leave with punch my card. Of course, our staff is supposed to ask for their card.
Right.
but sometimes they forget. But
I usually
it's
leave
really
it in the
critical.
card, and then they get me a new one, and now I have like 4 of them working all like that. And sometimes I
That's
come,
okay. We can
and
combine
you
them.
combine them because you're very gracious. But I like kind of like forgetting them, and then eventually you hit the jackpot.
Yeah.
I have like 4 of them filled up at once. But
Yeah.
um,
And he does pay when he comes in.
yes,
no, people
thank
don't
you.
believe it. Yeah,
Yeah, I mean,
it's shocker. Even Defo and I are
yeah.
surprised.
you got to
we're
be
surprised,
careful.
yeah.
You got to be careful. You don't want to.
We
So-
have a deal here, Jack, and this
Yeah.
is why we're old school. Like
It's professional.
you're a very great and long-term loyal sponsor of this show. We started off on radio. You were there for us, and you've been there. So, but we come in. You're a sponsor. We talk about all the great value you can get here. But then when I come in at night, I'm paying my own way because that's what I want to do, and it's so reasonable too. So, and yeah, okay. Last time, because I had my goddaughter in, she just graduated. What did Jackson do? Comp to dessert. She got her tiramisu, which is the kind of thing that you do
Yeah,
for
they
everybody,
probably do it for other people,
birthdays
yeah.
and all
Yeah.
that stuff. So
Yeah, we try to touch every table. Joe and Jackson and myself when I'm here. At least one time a night. How is it? Can I get you something? And it makes that's part of the success. There's a lot of
do you find that
factors.
I was going to say that if there's a face to complain about,
Mm.
maybe they complain less because at least you're smiling, you're there. It's harder to, I don't want to say the bitch and moan, but when you know who you're dealing with and they're there presenting themselves, it makes sense.
That's
Actually,
psychology. That's very critical. Yeah,
interesting.
and you can kind of read people.
yeah,
And there's some people I might want to go over and say a little to spend 2 minutes with, but not too much because you
gonna
spend
know
too
it.
much time. Then another table says, "Why do you spend time there and not over here?" you wouldn't believe
Oh
people
my
are
Yeah,
so
no, they want the attention.
odd. Should I not say that?
no, you can
It's
say
fine,
it.
you didn't get
Not
a name.
only can you say it, I live it every day because I'm adminning that group, and I'm like saying, "Oh my god,
I got to
They're
complain.
getting jealous.
The server, and it was this. This didn't generate the body language task, but a server, the customer complained because he spent too much time at another table.
Oh, the
And
other
he-
server? Okay.
Yeah, the server, with another customer, and he complained to me on the
Mhm.
way out. And I said, how was the food?" He said, "Food was great." I said, "Did you get everything you needed?" I mean, his service wasn't bad.
Right.
He
just
just didn't
jealous of-
get as much
He felt
attention.
neglected. So now you have to have a
As the other
timer and a
table did.
stopwatch at every
Oh my
table. Everybody's got to
So,
get
of course,
equal time.
I was gracious and I said, "Well, I'll make sure you get equal time the next time you get in." I wasn't being a smart ass.
No, you're being
no,
honest.
yeah.
No, you're being honest.
You're
But
trying.
there's so many people
But
that are
but if Lubie mentions that,
little
So
loop-
servers know in their head, you have to have a sense of this. Like I'm sure you talk about this at your meetings, though. But haven't been a waiter, and you're handling 4 or 5 tables or whatever, sometimes more. And you have to sort of be aware. Am I balancing out what I'm doing? here?
table management.
Yeah.
Yep.
It is critical.
I haven't been there for a while. I want to make sure everything's okay.
Yeah.
Whatever. Even if you don't have their food, it's not ready. At least reminder
And,
coming
and
right
the
up.
boys and
Yeah.
if we see a server is pushed and he hasn't been to it, we'll just go over and make small talk.
right,
Yeah.
right.
Just because,
sometimes
just to
things
give
get
him a break
backed up.
or her
Yeah.
a little bit of a respite.
No, and you guys are old pros and you know how to manage people. But to what Lubie was saying, I know it's tough because sometimes when a manager comes over and they're nice and they're smiling and they're gracious, that's when people go into, "Oh, I don't want to make a scene. I don't want to say anything" mode. I'm not here to have a confrontation. But then they'll go home and go on social media and Yelp and Open Table and then say something that was wrong that they won't say to your face. But your response to that is, please say it to my face at the time.
Let
right?
us have the opportunity. Let us have the opportunity to make it right.
Yep.
A lot of times it doesn't warrant.
Oh,
Sometimes
much.
the customer, it's an easy fix.
Yeah.
It's real easy on our part, or it's so insignificant that it doesn't even it shouldn't even be mentioned.
It'll
But
make
then
their
when they
night
get
too.
on the site and they start
Right.
typing, they
That's a whole
embellish it
Right. Oh, yeah. Everybody has their own. This is something I learned as a journalist.
horribly.
There's 3 sides to every story. And,
Yeah.
but you got to say hi to Terry. Terry's out there. She's
Sweetheart.
a
Hi, Tara. How are you, baby?
lovely wife.
Jeff.
She's a big fan.
Mike or
You have to
It's
crack
Mike,
open one of
Jeff.
these lobsters too.
was gonna say,
See,
Yeah,
we're
yeah,
gonna get
yeah.
into the
Oh, yeah.
lobsters. We also
Send
got
one
to
his
take
way,
another
yeah.
break. No, and we're talking about people hard to please and the service here, but I recall we came here. We had one of our Lunchbox executive sessions. Lubie was here. Defo was here with the Mustang, and Mustang can be a little hard to please. And she was just, again,
She
very
loved
happy.
it. No, she always liked it here.
Yeah, it's
But she is not a steak eater. Doesn't eat red meat. So we were looking for other
Scallops.
options, and the scallops were fantastic. And I mean, there definitely is something for everybody here at Tropical Acres, and I dig the fact that somehow you keep these prices in an area where you're almost like going to kind of a discount place in some ways, even though it's a high end restaurant. It's fantastic. Really a great job all the way
appreciate that.
around. Yeah.
Yeah, we're cautious.
and again, because you have long-term relationships with your purveyor suppliers, like the lobster guy. Up
You
in
own the
New England.
lobster guy.
No,
Did
the
he
la-
lose a bet or something?
it's-
How are you
it's-
doing this?
it's- funny talking about Juan's. We were talking off air, just talking about it before you guys were doing the special, and we weren't even sure if you were going to do it because the lobster prices
spiked.
this
They were
season
so high.
were insane. In the winter, they were just nuts, and like
Yeah.
people who do lobster rolls as a mainstay weren't doing lobster rolls because you just couldn't.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we were talking with him, and he's like, "Yeah, it's like you." I guess he had talked to you like recently, and you were going to do this, and Alex didn't. He was flummoxed. He couldn't comprehend how it could even happen.
Well, we took it on the chin.
Yeah, you did for a little while, right? You started
did.
earlier this year,
But you know what? Putting a customer in the seat that's empty to benefit the staff, I'll lose a
Right.
couple of bucks here and there.
It's called a lost leader, and you
Yeah.
get goodwill, and people will order some drinks, and then
Yeah, I
they
think we
come back and they're
started it,
happy and they're satisfied.
April.
Yeah.
You started it early.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
did
yeah.
it right after Easter this year. Usually it's
day
after
after Easter.
Mother's Day.
That's
And I
right.
think it was a shrewd move because totally jonesing for lobster because it had been too long. And look at this. I got this beautiful tail.
Nice.
I'm going to dunk it in some butter. We're going to take our second break, and I will.
I
Well,
don't know
that's
about
it.
that
That's
part.
all right. We'll get it in there. That's
Yeah.
beautiful. All
I'll
right.
get the job done.
I'm going to do a big bite of lobster tail, just the whole half a tail right in there, and we'll take our second break, and we'll be back with more on the Lunchbox from Tropical Acres after these words. For the finest poultry and the freshest fish, Delaware Chicken Farm and Seafood Market, located at 4191 North State Road 7 in Hollywood, open 7 days. Since 1951, a South Florida tradition for stone crab in season, Thanksgiving turkeys, holiday feasts, and everyday eating. Great steaks, house-made sausage, and prepared foods, too. Delaware is not just a market, it's a celebration of taste, quality, and old-fashioned customer service with a smile. Sign up for their weekly email flyer at DelawareChicken.com and tell them Mike Mayo and the Lunchbox sent you. When the Brooklyn boy in me wants a great bagel with lox, matzo ball soup, deli sandwich, and rugelach, you know where I go? Grandpa's Restaurant in Dania Beach. It's a South Florida institution since 1957 that was revamped a few years back by a pair of New York bagel baking legends. Full deli and appetizing case with spreads, salads, and platters for takeout and catering. Grandpa's is near Federal Highway just north of Sterling Road, open 7 days for breakfast and lunch. Go eat and enjoy. It's Mike Mayo's Lunchbox approved. For the finest and authentic Greek cuisine, Taverna Kima is the place to go. 6298 North Federal Highway in Boca Raton. It's been around for nearly 2 decades. Every day is a feast with grilled lamb and fish, house-made spinach pie and moussaka, gyros, traditional dips, mezes, with soft, warm pita. It's open 7 days for lunch and dinner with happy hour daily from 3 to 6 p.m., indoor, outdoor, private dining. So celebrate life at Taverna Kima. For reservations and information, go to tavernakima.com. When I get a craving for real Southern barbecue, Fat Boys Barbecue is the place that I call home. Cooked low and slow with proper smoke and dry rub goodness, Fat Boys has some of the best ribs, brisket, burnt ends, pulled pork, and chicken around. 5 delectable sauces and the tastiest collard greens, candied yams, and cornbread this side of heaven. 4 locations, including Deerfield, Coral Springs, Cypress Creek Road, and their newest location in downtown Fort Lauderdale, 706 South Federal Highway. Open 7 days with great lunch specials, online ordering, delivery, catering, and food trucks for your next event. To order, go to fatboysbarbecue.com today. That's Fat. When people come to me and say, Mike, where should I go out to eat? I got guests coming from out of town. Where should we go? Cafe Seville. That's the answer. 2768 East Oakland Park Boulevard. It's a Fort Lauderdale perennial. serving the finest in Spanish and continental cuisine in a cozy, friendly, comfortable setting. Joey Esposito and Sally, his better half, they've been running the place for a long time. It's been open since the 1980s. They got great Spanish classics like paella, shrimp with garlic sauce, and all kinds of great seafood dishes. The stuffed veal chop, oh, that's my favorite. Go to Cafe Seville. It's open every day but Sunday at 5 p.m. for dinner. Tell them that the Lunchbox Mayo and Defo sent you. Feel like getting away without leaving town? Then you got to check out the House on the River in Fort Lauderdale. It's a beautiful restored historic home with indoor and outdoor dining right on the New River. You'll think you're in Charleston or Savannah. It has a gorgeous patio, porches, and private dining areas, and it offers unique experiences perfect for a date night or fun times with friends and family. It has weekend brunches, happy hour, dinner Wednesday through Sunday. There's also a high tea on Friday and Saturdays, and the popular House of Veuve Champagne experience on weekends. The House on the River is in Fort Lauderdale's Himmershey district, just south of Science Museum. For reservations and all right, we're back at Tropical Acres, 2500 Griffin Road. We got to mention the Father's Day coming up, and you will be open, a rare Sunday open during a holiday.
3 to 9.
3 to 9 for the dads. Come on out, make a reservation. Again, old school, so the only way to make a reservation is by telephone at 954-989-2500, and treat your dad to a great prime rib, steak, lobster, whatever dad wants, he deserves. And why don't have him wash it down with a great old fashioned or some other drink at the bar?
Yeah,
all kinds of
that'd
great
be
stuff
great
here.
And if you want there's a Father's Day special at the butcher shop.
Oh, and I meant to ask you how the butcher shop is doing. Every time I'm in here before, I see people coming in and picking up some
is in the kitchen proper, the meat saw and the grinder and all the equipment you need, and we cut everything here. We grind, cut, we prep, but the small display case in the lobby, and it gets a lot of attention. We're selling the
one of the good things to come out of the pandemic is that you started selling your steaks and fresh cut. But I was here the other day where somebody asked for something, and boom, they're like butchering it fresh to order, cutting pieces of meat,
select cuts. I mean, they might want a larger fillet or a strip that's not the standard 14 ounce, or a porterhouse that they want it thick, really thick. So we'll accommodate anyone. Custom cuts. Just give us a few minutes to get it done.
And that guy was very patient, and then when it came out, he was ecstatic, and he was also ecstatic about the price. He goes like, "That's it. I thought it was going to be more," and that's the whole
Father's Day. It's 2 New York strips, 2 lobster tails, a side of cream spinach, T-shirt, and a coffee mug for $58.
Oh, geez. Oh, wow. So
of course you have to cook it.
I'd rather have a coffee mug than a tie. So that's a very useful thing for a father. And, again, you're running that all the way up until Father's Day. The butcher shop is open every day that the restaurant is, which is every day but Sunday.
Correct.
And you can come in, starting at 10 a.m. or noon?
10 a.m.
10 a.m. until service begins? Or
until, no, it's late in the evening. I mean,
you can come in even when you're in dinner service?
5 or Saturday night, although it's a little tough because we're busy. Carly,
I would say it's a good time if you want to pick up some steaks for dinner. But they'll
says, "I need 2 of that." I said, "Okay, just be patient when you arrive. I'm at my way over to you, and I'll get you what you need."
And that's the other thing people have to understand. If it's prime time for the dining room at 8 o'clock on a Saturday,
then stick a little bit longer.
It might not be the most efficient. Well, it'll be efficient, but you just have to wait a little bit.
There's always somebody available, and the customers are asking the servers to pack up. I want 2 filet mignon, 2 of the 8-ounce filet mignons to go.
I can't tell you how many of those fillets I cooked during the pandemic. I just would have my grill going at home, and I would come in here and just pick up a couple of fillets or some of those pre-made burgers that my mom loved those too. Rest in peace. It's more than just a steakhouse dining room. You could also get your cuts of meat to cook at home. It's fantastic here. So, we welcome Lubie on camera. Now we can see him eat and make a mess, not just me. And it's always gratifying to get in here And again, for 76 years,
That's
you just
amazing.
cannot beat that. Should we take the third and final break? Or
Let's do it.
Yeah,
We
let's
can.
do it. I know it's a little quick, but we want to get out of here right on time because we're going to replay this episode later in the month, Jack.
Okay.
So that people,
Good.
they love to hear about all the goings on here. And before we do, let's also put in the good word about a couple of our other fine sponsors, Batch New Southern Kitchen and Tap. Now with 3 locations, Delray Beach, West Palm Beach, where we visited last week, and downtown Fort Lauderdale, 525 North Federal Highway. The place to go for your weekend brunches. They have all kinds of great Southern cuisine, whether you're looking for on the lighter side with grilled peaches with burrata. That's great during the summertime. They also have the incomparable fried chicken and waffles, shrimp and grits, jambalaya, and those biscuits. Oh, do not sleep on those biscuits. You want to eat those biscuits.
Yeah.
Have you been, right?
Yeah, I've been many times. And then, of course, the peaches and burrata. That was we went there. It was late. They were still open. They serve until I think 11.
Okay.
The kitchen's open till 11. And if I can get out of here early, we'll go there and we'll stop and we'll have a cocktail and a light meal because it's so late.
Yeah.
But it's a sure thing all the time.
That's
and I
great.
love going to them.
And they are masters of hospitality as
They
well. They
are.
believe in that old school. Also,
Brandon wasn't
smile.
there, but the other gentleman.
Well, Brandon has left Batch.
I know.
He's pursuing a career as a airline pilot, which is good
It's like
for
his
him.
dream.
But they have
I'm
a
glad
great.
he's doing it.
Kevin has been
their
there a
management's
lot
fantastic.
lately at Fort Lauderdale, along with a new manager named Brian. Go in there; they are the friendliest people. They got free parking in the garage. And what I love about you and Terry, you go around to some of our sponsors and you check them out. And
We were at Even Keel twice last week.
oh, great!
Nice.
Love those
One
guys.
was
Nice.
You
I
love
think it
the
was
brunch there.
Tuesday
Yeah.
night.
Oh, you went there for the oyster.
The
night.
oyster deal.
Yeah.
But we had something else. I was there with another couple.
They do a
and
great
we
brunch
sat
too. Oh,
outside.
Good. Yeah, the
Yeah.
Lauderdale by the
Terry
Sea.
likes to bounce around, so we had a cocktail at Village
Village
Oh,
Inn.
Village Inn.
Pump.
Village Pump.
Village Pump. Okay.
We just had cocktails.
Yeah.
And then we went somewhere for an appetizer.
Nice.
Right.
And then we went for Taco Craft. We went.
Oh,
Yeah,
Taco
yeah.
Craft and one
And then
of
we go
our
to
other sponsors.
Gelato.
Yeah.
So we
Yeah.
the
Well, that
night
area,
was
there's a lot going on.
it was 4 places.
You hit for the Lauderdale by the Sea Slam. Very
Yeah.
good. And then, of course, if you're looking also for a fine Italian meal, we've got Casa d'Angelo. Angelo Elia is one of the
yes.
class guys. And
What a great property.
oh yeah,
And really hands on. This guy is serious.
oh yeah, he is.
I mean, after your own
He
heart.
is a very also old school. Where he is totally focused on the
Yeah.
guest experience, and their
And-
wine list is incredible.
That's
Their
the
ingredient-
combination for success.
Yeah.
You can't take this lightly. You can't go in there and think you're going to do it for 8 hours a day. You got to live it.
Yeah.
You need to do it. And I see that with some of these people. And then there's other people that go and just don't give it the
Right,
passion.
you get, and again, the places that are independently owned and operated as opposed to some of these
Yep.
corporate places, you can tell a difference. You can feel
Yeah,
it.
Seville.
Seville, you were in with
Joey.
Joey, another
I was
one of our
over there.
great sponsors.
I
and,
mean, it's
Well,
great.
but he like stands at the front. He's very much like Jack, where he's
oh,
welcoming people
he
in.
is.
He is.
I call him the mayor of Oakland Park Boulevard because he
Well,
knows everybody.
Everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he gets more regular customer, meaning knows than we do. I
Yeah.
mean, a lot of customers I know them by sight, but I don't know their name.
No, he's like,
The
hey.
best thing he did was he expanded. He took
Next
over the base
door.
next door. He
Yeah,
built that
and he put the
beautiful bar.
Yeah.
And that bar, as much I love your bar area, especially if you like eating solo. If your spouse or significant other is away, there are a few places that I love sitting in a bar and eating.
Yeah.
Here at Tropical Acres is one of them. When I get Nick and Tony and taking great care of
Yeah.
me.
in Seville.
Seville is great.
Yeah.
Got Kevin and Vanessa. They do a great job. And also Casa d'Angelo, the Fort Lauderdale location. They have a beautiful new bar area. It's really good for solo diners.
Sure.
So it's all good. And I appreciate you going out and supporting. And I think you realize that, when it comes to food, I'm not always right, Jack, just 95% of the time. And,
Yeah, you probably are more than that.
yeah. Oh, good. I like that. 98,
Yeah.
99. It's all good. Evan Darnell from Red Meat Lovers Club calls me the food Sherpa.
Oh,
of South
yeah.
Florida.
I've met him.
I guide people around.
Red meat lover. Yeah, he's
a-
quite a
he's-
guy.
He is
He's
a character.
colorful.
Yeah, he is. All right, let's take our final break, and we'll come back and wrap up this edition from Tropical Acres in Dania Beach after these words. From a scratch kitchen, delicious drinks and house-made spirits from a craft bar, A great vibe inside and out with a spacious patio. I'm talking about Batch New Southern Kitchen and Tap, Fort Lauderdale, in the heart of the city at 525 North Federal Highway. It's open 7 days for lunch, dinner, and weekend brunch with classics like fried chicken and waffles and shrimp and grits, and creative items like pecan crusted salmon and a fried green tomato BLT. And the drinks? Smooth sipping and so good. There's convenient free parking and a garage next door, happy hour at the bar, an entire patio, 4 to 7 Monday to Friday, and live music every Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. It's pet and people friendly and with cozy fire pits for when the temperature dips. For reservations and more information, go to batchsouthernkitchen.com. If you like seafood in a comfortable setting, outdoors, even keel fish shack at the corner of A1A and Commercial Boulevard in Lauderdale by the Sea, upscale food in a down-home setting, the chef owners, Dave and Brad, do a terrific job with all the seafood classics that you want. They have the best grilled oysters in town, bang bang shrimp, lobster rolls, and deli fish specials. They also have weekend brunch Saturday and Sunday. They have deli happy hour 4 to 7, and they also have other weekly specials like mussels on Monday and oysters on Tuesday. Go to Even Keel Fish Shack and tell them that the Lunchbox sent you. For casual yet sophisticated contemporary American cuisine, Burton's Grill and Bar, now with 2 South Florida locations, 1003 South University Drive in Plantation and 5580 North Military Trail in Boca. I've become a huge fan of this place. Great food and hospitality, family friendly, a full gluten-free menu, and a staff that's very mindful of guest allergies and special dietary needs. They're open 7 days with an all-day menu, weekend brunch, and happy hour specials. And oh, don't miss that short rib grilled cheese or their famed key lime pie. So good. They offer catering and delivery, and download the Burton's app for extra specials and bonuses, including $15 to sign up. Warm hospitality and world-class creativity. Those are the ingredients that make Daniel's, a Florida steakhouse, a special place. Come experience the restaurant that's Michelin Guide recommended and totally Mike Mayo's Lunchbox approved, with an impressive collection of steaks, seafood, and more, like their foie gras creme brulee. Daniel's is located at 620 South Federal Highway in Fort Lauderdale, just south of the New River Tunnel, open Tuesday through Sunday for dinner. For reservations and information, go to danielssteak.com. Hey, it's Mayo here for Prezzo Italian Restaurants. 2 locations, Boca Raton at Park Place on Military Trail and Palm Beach Gardens in the PGA Commons on PGA Boulevard. Contemporary Italian cuisine with house-made pastas, wood-fired pizzas, salads, veal, chicken, and of course their famous focaccia bread with oven-roasted garlic bulbs. In Garlic We Trust is their slogan, and you can trust Prezzo for a great experience with gracious service and tremendous value. Open 7 days, featuring brunch, lunch, dinner, and happy hour. Great wine deals and full bar at both locations. For reservations and more information, go to eatprezzo.com. A tradition for South Florida sports fans for more than 30 years, Shenanigans. It's at 1300 South Federal Highway in Dania Beach, the place to go for all your favorite teams and events and food that's not your ordinary sports bar fare. Award-winning wings, burgers, fresh fish, and more, TV screens galore, and all-day happy hour specials. The kitchen and bar are open into the wee hours, perfect for late-night bites and very close to the airport. For playoff action, football season, and a All right, we're getting ready to get out of here. We're actually going to do a Dania doubleheader today. We're getting ready for the big Stanley Cup Finals opening game tonight with our friend Pat Utter over at Shenanigans. We're going to be there later this afternoon, about 3:30, and getting ready for the big Panther Edmonton Oilers series. Jack, thank you so much.
You're the best, Jack. Thank
Not
you.
just, there's great surf and turf marsala, the twin lobster, the filet mignon, but Joe brought out that great hash brown dish. It's one of the enhanced side dishes here, where there is a supplement to get it, but it is worth it. I haven't had because I've been on a health kick, and
You look good.
Thank you.
You look good.
I've been doing my greens, my broccoli. Sometimes I cheat with a little cream spinach, but oh man, those hash brown potato pie, that is a delicious thing. So thank you for everything.
Thank you.
You're
Have a
welcome.
great month. Have a great Father's Day.
Happy
I
Father's Day.
understand you
Thank
got some
for having
travel
us.
coming up. You're going to be
Yeah.
leaving like a good person, letting the kids run the shop, and you get to travel with Terry a little bit.
Yeah, I
so.
still call them the kids, the boys. But they're grown ass men.
Yeah.
They have
Fourth
taken
generation.
over, and I'm so proud of them.
Yeah, and you should
What
be,
they
because
do.
they are maintaining and the hospitality.
Yeah.
Well, that's going to do it for now. We'll be at Casa Calabria Friday, our usual Friday fun day at Gulfstream Palms. So until next time, enjoy every steak, lobster, pasta,